Hi, everybody. My name is Nisha Trivedi, and I'm a senior consultant with mbaMission. And today I'm here to talk to you about the application essays for NYU Stern for this year. So Stern, just like last year, has two essays. The first essay is about your professional aspirations. So it asks, what are your short and long-term career goals, and how will the MBA help you achieve them? The second essay is more personal. They call it the personal expression, or Pick 6. And this is where you describe yourself to the admissions committee and to your future classmates using 6 images and corresponding captions. So it's going to be an uploaded PDF that's going to include a brief introduction and overview of your Pick 6. So 3 sentences introducing and setting the stage, 6 images that help illustrate who you are, and a 1-sentence caption for each of the 6 images that explains why the images were selected and why they're significant to you. And again, this needs to be uploaded as a single PDF, no links or anything. And in terms of the images, it can be photos, infographics, drawings, or any other types of images that it's described you, so you can think broadly here. But let's first talk about essay 1. So essay 1, again, it asks you about your professional aspirations. So what are your short and long-term career goals, and how will the MBA help you achieve them? And essentially, this is, as far as MBA application essay goes, this one's pretty classic. It's essentially a personal statement asking you, why do you want an MBA? And so as you're crafting this essay, you should address the following points. First, just as the essay literally asks, what are your career goals? So this means your post-MBA goals, the career that you're going to enter after you graduate, as well as your long-term goals. So this is 5, 10, 15 years down the line. But just as importantly, as the what of your career goals is the why. So that means what experiences have led you to these goals? What motivates you? What are the instances or the experiences that made you realize, this is what I want to do in the future. So you want to make sure that you give insights into this, because it's going to help the admissions committee understand what drives you, and that you've put proper reflection into the goals. And then next, you want to address what are a few skills that you bring into the role based on your experience to date. And here you want to be brief, because ultimately this is a forward-looking essay, so you don't want to get too bogged down in the past, but you do want to mention a few skills that you'll bring into the role, because this will help the admissions committee understand that, while there are things that you need to learn, there are a few things that are going to help you hit the ground running, which is a lot easier. And then you'll want to talk about the specific skills and knowledge that you'll need from an MBA to supplement the skills that you have in order to meet these goals. So just to give an example, I've worked with quite a few clients who work in advertising or PR, and they, at post-MBA, desire to switch to the client side in a marketing role, in a brand management role. So in terms of what they bring into the role, they have creativity, excellent writing skills, the ability to communicate, marketing positioning, probably a breadth of industry experience. But in terms of what they need from an MBA, let's say if they're entering a CPG brand management role, in brand management, the associate brand manager has to bring in different perspectives when it comes to making decisions and evaluating aspects of the role. So for example, they're not just dealing with marketing issues, but they're working with accounting. They're working with finance to see what's the margin, on these items. Is it going to be profitable to launch? They're working with supply chain to figure out, how much has to be produced. So in terms of skills and knowledge they'll need from an MBA, they're going to need more well-rounded business acumen, which means those finance courses in supply chain, courses in strategy are going to really come in handy for their post-MBA goals in brand management, and are going to supplement the creative aspects that they've gotten from their advertising or PR career to date. And so after you explain what skills you'll bring into the role and what skills and knowledge you'll need from an MBA, you want to pivot to Stern and explain how are you going to gain the specific skills and knowledge that you identified based on its specific resources within the classroom, meaning classes, hands-on learning exercises, and outside of the classroom, meaning extracurricular activities, professional clubs, and the like. And keep in mind that the essay does not ask about why Stern explicitly, but in terms of being able to explain how you get the skills and the knowledge, it's very effective to point to some specific resources at Stern that are most relevant to your career goals, because it'll help the admissions committee see that you've thought through the goals and where Stern specifically fits in. Next, let's turn to the second essay, which is, again, the personal expression. And again, you're describing yourself to the admissions committee and your future classmates with these 6 images that you select. And you're going to have a brief introduction or overview of your pick 6. So this is just 3 sentences explaining, if there's a theme to the images you chose, why you chose the images you did, what information you want to leave the admissions committee with. That would go in the introduction. And then, of course, you'll have in the document 6 images to illustrate who you are and a 1-sentence caption for each, explaining why the images were selected and why they're significant to you. So, I'm sure this probably seems in some ways like an overwhelming exercise. How do I, reduce my my life to just 6 images? But in order to help you start, first ask yourself, what do you want the admissions committee to know about you? And in thinking about that question, you want to keep in mind what's already being covered in other parts of your application. So the admissions committee is also going to have access to your resume and your recommendations, which will give them a sense of your professional trajectory. Essay 1 is going to tell them about your career goals. The short answers are going to tell them about, what sort of things you've been involved in the past. But this is your, this essay 2 is your opportunity to share with them new information or information that's only, lightly touched upon in other parts of your application. So for example, maybe you briefly mention an extracurricular activity in your resume, but in the pick 6, maybe through one of the images, you can talk about, why did you undertake that specific activity? What does it mean to you? And when you're choosing the images, you also want to be multidimensional, meaning you want to share as many aspects of your life and personality as possible. So you don't just want to focus on, one aspect of your life or interest, but you want to paint essentially a well-rounded picture of yourself to the admissions committee so that they get a full sense of who you are. And then in terms of the images themselves, I thought I would address this because I've been asked this question a lot, which is, do the images each have to have me in them? Do I have to pick 6 pictures of myself? Because I'm not sure if I have that, or if I want to share all of those. And the answer is no. The images do not have to include you. Again, the images can be a diagram, it can be a photo of something else, it can be a map. There are so many ways to interpret the word image, and they don't have to have you in them. They just have to really, give the admissions committee a sense of who you are. There's a lot of ways to do that. Regarding the captions, the 1-sentence captions for each image, they should convey the significance of each image without stating the obvious. So, let's say you had a picture of a cat in one of the images. The caption wouldn't, say this is a cat, because that's very obvious. But what the caption needs to say is, well, why did you pick this image? Maybe it's because you volunteer at an animal shelter every week and this is a cat you adopted. Or maybe this cat has been a member of your family for 10 years and it's been a wonderful companion and you want the admissions committee to know about that. So again, you really want to capture the significance of each image and really help the admissions committee understand, why did you choose it and what does it say about your life, your personality, your interests, your values. And as you're calling down the images that are under consideration and figuring out which ones to pick, a question to help you select each image is, does this image truly capture who I am? Is it going to give the admissions committee an important, help them learn an important aspect of me? And is this what I want the admissions committee to truly learn about me in order to understand me as a candidate? So really think about, through those 6 images, what exactly do you want the admissions committee to learn about you in order to truly understand you as a candidate? So I hope that was helpful. Just a few more mbaMission resources that I wanted to point out. First, there's our written Stern essay analysis, which talks about these essay questions a little bit more, which is on our blog. And on our blog, we also have essay analyses for many of the other top MBA programs, so be sure to check those out as you're working through your applications. To learn more about Stern specifically, including student life, academics, career prospects, definitely check out our Stern's Insider Guide, also on our website. And if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend that you set up a free 30-minute consultation with either me or with one of my colleagues. And during this call, we'll talk about your profile, your career goals, the schools that you're interested in, and things that you should keep in mind as you proceed with your application. So I think that you'll find it highly valuable. So with that, thanks so much for listening, and best of luck with your Stern applications and with all of your applications this season.